Hey everybody, today we are going to use requests and BeautifulSoup libraries in order to extract doc images from Reddit. BeautifulSoup is a powerful web scraping library for pulling data out of HTML. We will pair BeautifulSoup with the request library in order to fetch web pages using GetRequests. To start, we must ensure requests and BeautifulSoup are installed on our computer. Open the command prompt and type pip install requests to install the request library, and pip install bs4 to install the BeautifulSoup4 library. Now we can start writing our web scraping script. Import the request library by typing import requests. We will also need to import BeautifulSoup class from the bs4 library. We need to define the target URL that we want to scrape. So let's use a link to a doc pictures subreddit. We will also need to define headers for our HTTP GET request. Copy headers from Firefox DevTools Network panel. Please note that headers from Chrome will not work because of an inappropriate user agent. That is the reason why I suggest to copy headers from Firefox. Alternatively, you can use my headers, but it is much better to use your own headers. Next, we are going to begin using the request library. We will make a GET request to doc pictures subreddit in order to get content of the web page. To do this, we will create a variable called a response to call request.get method with the URL and headers parameters. This requests the URL and returns a response object. The response object contains the server's response, which in turn includes its web page content, response headers, status code, and many more other attributes. Using this, we can make a BeautifulSoup object and begin to find pictures of dogs. First, create a variable named soup while calling BeautifulSoup constructor. This will create a BeautifulSoup object, which represents the HTML document as a nested data structure. Creating a BeautifulSoup object requires the content of a response. In this case, we want the HTML content of the response object we created. We also must provide a string or the name of a parser that iterates over the HTML. The HTML content is located in the content attribute of our response object, so we reference it as response.content. As for the parser, there are a number of options available, but for this video I will be using HTML parser. Running the HTML content through BeautifulSoup gives us a BeautifulSoup object, which represents the HTML data as a nested data structure. Let's call soup.prettify method to print out a formatted version of the nested data structure. When we run this, the formatted version of the nested data structure will be printed out. HTML contains a variety of texts that make up a web page. In our case, we simply want to find the images that have dogs. This means we need to get the img text. To do this, we will call soup find all method, passing the img tag as the parameter we want to be extracted. This function extracts all texts that match img and stores them in a list. Of course, there are other images on the website that we don't want to be scraped. We need to filter them out, so we can do this by applying another parameter, attrs, standing for attributes, that filter text by a specific dictionary of attributes. In this case, we want to find and extract image tags that have alt attribute equal to the post image. This will only extract images that are in posts, as opposed to the other web page images. Let's iterate over the image tags. Enumerate is a built-in function of Python. It allows us to loop over a list and have an automatic counter. We can access a tag's attributes by treating the tag like a dictionary. So we need to extract the source attribute in order to obtain an image URL. As soon as we have an image URL, we are ready to make a HTTP GET request in order to obtain the image itself. Let's store the service response inside of the response variable. The response object contains the service response, which in turn includes image content, response headers, status code, and many other attributes. Let's print each source URL and status code. It will allow us to know what happens out under the hood. We can save an image using the 3 lines of code. In this case, the file name will be equal to the value of the counter variable. Now, let's run the script and see the images downloading process. Looks like there are 7 images available. We can see them numbered thanks to our counter variable. I hope you will test the script on other subreddits. It is the best way to master BeautifulSoup. That's all I have for today. Please like, subscribe and comment. See you next time.